ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्ता राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तु ते। तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जयो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. Till the last class, we have seen the 64 items of bhakti. What are the different ways we can practice the sadhana bhakti, that is Vaidhi sadhana bhakti. When we say Vaidhi, it is the scriptural injunctions and order of Guru which makes a person to practice this devotional service, and there is no personal motive, or the devotee or the person who is practicing the spirituality, he is not doing anything on his own. He is doing the main motto of acting in Krishna consciousness is the spiritual master has told. Prabhupada told 16 rounds chanting, so I am doing. Prabhupada told to read his books, so I am doing it. So this is the Vaidhi sadhana bhakti. Now this is what we are practicing till now, and further whatever we learn, this is what we may achieve in future. We should not think we are already in Raganuga sadhana bhakti. We are not in Raganuga sadhana bhakti. We all are in Vaidhi sadhana bhakti only. So this is the great devotees who are practicing. Their path we are just trying to understand how they practice Krishna consciousness in the Raganuga marga or Raga marga. It's also called Pushti marga, where person, it is said, he don't have to follow the scriptural injunction. It doesn't mean that he doesn't follow, but following the rules and regulations of the scriptures is not the main goal of his activity, the spiritual activity. Even if it is not told in the scriptures, he will do it sincerely. For example, when devotees are traveling, we take so many excuses. We may not chant on that day, or we may not eat only Krishna prasadam, or we make so many adjustments. Why? Because we say, I'm traveling, I'm tired, I don't have here facility. So Prabhupada told, okay, I will practice when the facility is okay, but I am not able to do it now. So these all excuses are there for us. I slept late in the night yesterday, so I am not come for Mangalarti today. These all are Vaidhi sadhana bhakti. But Raganuga means whether it is told in Shastra or not, whether there is some excuse or not, whether somebody is watching you or not, the person is sincerely doing the service to Krishna. That is Raganuga. He is doing it on his own. Just like for some children, they do their studies very well. There is no need to push the child, push the student. they will do beyond the expectation. Beyond, the teacher also doesn't expect so much to study. The student is reading all the textbooks before coming to the class, and the student is answering all the questions and doing very well in the exams. So even the parents also not expecting so much from the student, but the student is doing all these things on his own. So that is the Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti in the way how we can understand this. So that is the Raganuga. Now some of the points which we have to learn here in the 64 items, these points some people will come across in the chapter number 8. In the beginning of this, Rupa Goswami says that one should begin the worship of the demigod Ganapati, who drives away all the impediments in the execution of devotional service. So you can see this point in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Why Rupa Goswami has told this point? So we all should worship Ganapati. No, it is not told. Prabhupada also not established anywhere the worship of Ganapati. So why Rupa Goswami is telling here? He is the remover of impediments. So that's why it's a custom that we first pray to Ganapati and then we start our worship. But what Srila Prabhupada says in the Brahma Samhita, it is stated that Ganapati worships the lotus feet of the Narasimha Deva. Yatpada Pallava Yugam Vinidhaya Kumbha Dvandve Pranama Samaye Saganadhiraja Vignan Vihantum Alamasya Jagatrayasya Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajan. Ganapati, he is holding the lotus feet of the Lord, the Narasimha Dev, and he is able to remove all the inauspiciousness. So our Prabhupada's instruction to us is you directly worship Narasimha Dev. The worship of Narasimha is done every day during the Mangalarti. So there is no need to separately worship the Ganapati, and even Prabhupada has not recommended it in any of the temples. And one more point you can learn, that is, in one place it is told, give up the association of Devata worshippers. In the page number 64, if you see, 64 or 65. Giving up the company of non-devotees. The second paragraph. One should prefer to embrace a snake, a tiger, or an alligator rather than associate with persons who are worshippers of various demigods and who are impelled by material desire. So this is also another statement we should learn. What does it mean? So there are many demigod worshippers. So we should not associate with them. Why it is told so strongly? Because anybody who is considering the Lord and any demigod to be equal, that is the biggest offense. That is the first offense of Namaparada. Considering the second offense, considering the names of demigods to be equal to or independent of names of Lord Vishnu. Yastu Narayanam Devam Brahmarudradi Devate Samatvena Viksheta Sa Pashandi Bhavedruvam. So anybody considers the Lord to be equal to any other demigod, then he is called as Pashandi. And a person who is worshipping the demigod means he is worshipping him for the material desire. So as Rupa Goswami has told, you worship Ganapati for removing the obstacle. That is not the point. So if you are, even there are many great devotees, when they go to demigod temples, they will bow down to the Lord and they will ask, please give me Krishna Bhakti, or please help me in advancing in Krishna consciousness. And even in Srimad Bhagavatam, we can see Lord Shiva is describing how one should practice Krishna consciousness. So all these things are present. But anybody who is considering a demigod to be equal to the Lord, and he is impelled by the material desires and worshipping the demigod, we should avoid such kind of association. Such kind of worship should be avoided. And there is one more point. Do not disrespect the devatas. It is in the 67. I'm just bringing out some of the critical points which we may come in future, which may be needed. So in the point number 67, the demigods, under the heading, one should not become neglectful to offer due respect to the demigods. One may not be devotee of demigods, but that doesn't mean that he should be disrespect to them. So this point is also important. So this is how we should deal with the demigods. We should not disrespect them. And also, if there is an opportunity, if we come in touch with the demigod worship, or if we visit the demigod temple, there is nothing wrong in attending or going there and going down to the demigod. But we should know what is the purpose. We should ask them to give us the benediction that I may become a devotee of the Lord. Any Vaishnava Acharya who is coming in the parampara, they also have glorified the demigods. But how they have glorified? In connection to Krishna. They glorify them, and finally they will ask, you are so glorious, and please give me Krishna Bhakti. So this is the mode how a Vaishnava should respect the demigods, because demigods are appointed servants of the Lord, and they are worshipable. They are worshipable in their own position, not as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So these are some of the points, and you can go through all the points that we have discussed, 64 points. And if you get any other doubts, you can ask in the next coming classes. Today, it is the spontaneous devotional service. Let us continue. Shri Shri Radha Govind ki jai, Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. What we did in last class, that is lesson number 8. 64 items of Bhakti we have seen completely with all references, with some details. Importance of 5 potent forms of devotional service, and also Varnashrama Dharma and Jnana Vairagya, how they are not Anga of Bhakti. They may or may not be there, but still the person can come to Krishna consciousness, and one can come to perfection. Because the Varnashrama is a stepping stone, Jnana and Vairagya are the byproducts. When a person practices Krishna consciousness, Jnana and Vairagya will come automatically. When we get attached to Krishna, we get detached from the material world. Discuss aspects of Prabhupada's missions reflecting the principles of Yukta Vairagya. What is Yukta Vairagya? What is Falgu Vairagya? All these things we have discussed in the last class. Today is the spontaneous devotional service. Here it is Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti. We should not forget this word sadhana. We are still in the sadhana state only. We are not come to the bhava state. But what is the difference between the Vaidhi sadhana and Raganuga sadhana is, there are 9 stages of bhakti, where we start with Shraddha, then Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, then comes Anartha Nivritti. Once a person clears this Anartha Nivritti, he can go to the Raganuga state, or Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti. Without clearing the Anartha, one cannot go to the Raganuga Sadhana state of devotional service. What are these Anartha? Artha means it has some meaning. The word Artha has so many meaning. The Artha is also referring to money, or artha means something valuable. Anartha means not valuable or doesn't have any meaning, or it is not a money. Just like when the demonetization happened, overnight all the money got lost its value. So before, one day before, it was artha, and next day it was anartha. It is invalid. Similarly, when whatever we make in this material world, it is giving some temporary pleasure, material pleasure. But once we give up this body, it is of no use. I cannot say I have got so many degree, I have made so much of money, I have big bungalow, and I have so much of property. It's all anartha. It is not at all useful. Anywhere it is not going to help you. What is going to help? Whatever devotional service you have done, or whatever state of consciousness you have developed at the time of death, accordingly, our next destination will be decided. So that is artha. Anartha nivritti. Give up all your anartha. What are the anarthas? The person may be addicted to so many activities. The main four anarthas that Prabhupada says as the regulatory principles: Vyutam, Panam, Striya, Suna. These are the four main anarthas in us. And other than that, there are subtle anarthas. The person is hankering for name, fame, or he is accumulating more than necessary, or niyamagraha, that is simply following the rules and regulations without understanding what it is, or just for the sake of following, one is doing the activity, or not following the instructions of Guru. All these are small anarthas that we have to give up. When a person comes to the state of anartha nivritti, when he is completely free from this anartha, then the further progress will go on in the spontaneous state. Because we are fully free from all the anarthas, the love for the Lord, it comes spontaneously. Then it becomes raganuga sadhana bhakti. When we say raganuga sadhana bhakti, we have to have a follower. So here anuga means one who is following. And whom you want to follow? You have to follow someone. Whom you are going to follow? You want to follow the person who is already in perfection. And that perfected person, that perfected devotee or pure devotee, is also doing devotional service. And that devotional service is called as ragatmika bhakti. So in brief, raganuga sadhana bhakta is following the ragatmika bhakta. Ragatmika bhakta is a pure devotee, and raganuga sadhana bhakta is the practitioner. He is practicing sadhana. So ragatmika refers to pure devotee, one who is already in Krishna consciousness in the spiritual world, or in the pastimes of the Lord. So Sri Rupa Goswami has defined raga as spontaneous attraction for something while completely absorbed in thoughts in it with an intense desire of love. This is the definition for Ragatmika Bhakti. So when a person is in the spontaneous attraction to Krishna, the intense desire for serving the Lord, then it is called as Ragatmika Bhakti. In the book that we have, there is some change that we need to correct. If you go here, the examples of spontaneous devotional service can be easily seen in Krishna's direct associates. So if you go to that point, chapter number 15, in this book it is 121 page number. In some book it may be 119. You can locate this page, the first page of 15th chapter. So here, the third line or fourth line, it is given as Raganuga. It is a print mistake. Correct it as Ragatmika. correct it as Ragatmika. The spontaneous dealings of the residents of Vrindavana in relationship with Krishna are called Ragatmika. And then there are, next you can continue. Wherever it comes Raganuga in this paragraph, you have to make it Ragatmika. This is also Ragatmika. Their spontaneous attitude is called Ragatmika Bhakti. And this is also Ragatmika. Srila Rupa Goswami has defined Ragatmika Bhakti as spontaneous attraction for something. So this is the one correction in the book. Okay, hope everything is clear. Ragatmika means one who is a pure devotee, Ragatmika Bhakta. And Raganuga Bhakta is the one who is doing the practice. Now, under this, there are many categories of practice. Raga means intense attachment, and Atmika means very essence, the Atma. It is everything for me. The devotee feels that without Krishna, I cannot live. As Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says in the Shikshashtaka, Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitam Mam Vishame Bhavambado Kripaya Tava Pada Pankaja Sitaduli Sadrisham Vichintaya. Next one. Nayanam Galadashrudharaya Vadanam Gadgada Ruddhaya Gira Pulake Nichitam Upagada Tavanama Grahane Bhavishyati Yugaitam Nimeshena Chakshusha Pravrishaitam Shunyaitam Jagat Sarvam Govinda Virahenami. So Shunyaitam Jagat Sarvam Govinda Virahenami. Without Krishna, this entire world is zero for me. Even we also feel this kind of feeling during any material distress. It is for momentarily feeling the person may have. If we lose any of our very close relatives or our dear friends, we also feel like that, but it is materially reflected one. But in the spiritual platform, it is true. The devotee feels that I need only Krishna. I don't want anything else. Without Krishna, my life is zero. Ashlishya vapadaratam pinashtumam adarshanan marmahatam karotuva yatha tatava vidadatulam pato matprananatastu sa eva naparaha. He prays to Krishna. Krishna, if you accept me or if you reject me, I don't have any other master. You are my only shelter. So that is the mood of devotees. That is the Ragatmika Bhakti. Ragatmika Bhakti is the highest. It is the pure devotion. Devotional service executed with such feelings of spontaneous love is called Ragatmika Bhakti. And this Ragatmika Bhakti, it is present in the Vrajavasis. Vrajavasi means the devotees in the Vrindavana. The original inhabitants of Vrindavana are attached to Krishna spontaneously in devotional service. Nothing can compare to such spontaneous devotional service, which is called Ragatmika Bhakti. So that is the mood of devotees in the Vrindavana. That means they don't know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They don't know any opulence about Krishna. They love Krishna just because they love him. There is no motive. That is the Ragatmika Bhakti. Now coming to the Raganuga Bhakti, if we want to practice devotional service in Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti, under Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti, the person has to follow any of these Ragatmika Bhaktas. The Ragatmika Bhakta may have it may be Madhurya Rasa or Vatsalya Rasa or Sakhya Rasa, Dasya or Shanta Rasa. All these things are coming, especially the It comes from Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya. So through this, if we want to practice Raganuga Bhakti, we should find a Ragatmika Bhakti Bhakta who is already practicing it in the pure devotional state. Tara Anugata Bhaktira Raga Anuga Name. Anuga. So you can see the word Anuga here. Raga Anuga. The Anuga comes from follower, one who is following. When a devotee follows in the footsteps of the devotee of Vrindavana, his devotional service is called Raga Anuga Bhakti. This is told in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. So this is how it is. Ragatmika Bhakti, the person who is serving the Lord in Vrindavana, spontaneous love for Krishna. Raganuga Bhakti is the person who is following in their footsteps. Here again, we should understand this is not imitation. There are two words. One is Anukarana, other one is Anusarana. One should not do Anukarana. We should understand what is the principle behind the practice, and simply blindly following or simply doing the activities which are being done in the done by the Ragatmika Bhaktas, it is not recommended. For example, the Vrajavasis, they may not follow Ekadashi. But Raganuga Sadhana Bhakta, he has to follow Ekadashi. Because he is not able, he should not imitate them. Because they are at the higher platform, they are pure devotees. For them, it may not be necessary. But I am a sadhaka, I am in sadhana state. One has to practice the Ekadashi, all the other kinds of vrata. Then also the gopis, they worship sun god. The Raganuga Sadhana Bhakta, he should not do that, because it is not coming under his sadhana. These are some critical points which we can discriminate where we have to follow and where we should not follow. Understanding the principle, one should follow the mode of Ragatmika Bhakti, and that becomes Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti. So this is Madhurya Rasa, and then we have here Sakhya Rasa. This is the pastime of Krishna with the gopis. This is Vatsalya Rasa. These all are Ragatmika Bhakta. They are already in perfection, and we are only following the footsteps of this Ragatmika Bhakta. Now there are two types of Ragatmika Bhakti. Again, we are talking about the pure devotees now. It is not talking about ourselves. What are they? One is Kama Rupa, other one is Sambandha Rupa. So Kama Rupa is the Madhurya Rasa, that is sensual attraction, conjugal love for Krishna. And Sambandha Rupa is other devotional service, that is the Vatsalya, Sakhya, and Dasya. These three comes under Sambandha Rupa. Chapter 15 deals with the Kama Rupa, and 16th chapter is dealing with the Sambandha Rupa. 15 and 16 are the two chapters for today. Kama Rupa Ragatmika Bhakti. Kama, lusty desire. Rupa means like. So here, this lust is not same as the lust of this material world. What is the difference here? When a person wants to enjoy his senses, then it is called lust. And when a person is trying to gratify the senses of Krishna, then it is love. Now, when gopis, they are coming to Krishna with this mode of lust, because Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the lust also gets purified, and it is also a devotional service what they are doing. Tejesham na doshaye. The sun, it can evaporate urine also. It doesn't get contaminated. But if we go and clean the place where the urine is there, we should take bath because we get contaminated. If we use a cloth for cleaning a floor, the floor gets clean, but the cloth gets dirty. But Krishna, he is like the sun. He can evaporate all kinds of bad things, and he can purify us so that the person who is contaminated, he will also come to the Krishna consciousness. Just like when the prostitute came to Haridas Thakur. If anybody else was there in the position of Haridas Thakur, they should at any cost avoid the association. They should immediately leave that place and go away to save themselves. Because we can only save ourselves. We cannot save others. But Haridas Thakur was so great that he delivered that prostitute herself. At the end of 3 days, he tells, when you came here, I knew what is your intention. But I stayed here for 3 days only because for your sake. I just wanted to deliver you. By hearing the chanting of Haridas Thakur continuously, she got purified and there was no effect on Haridas Thakur. That is the status of pure devotees. If the devotees of Krishna himself are so strong in performing devotional service and purifying the whole world, then what to speak about Krishna? Krishna doesn't have this desire of material lust. He will only fulfill the desires of his pure devotees. It may be Madhurya, Vatsalya, Sakhya, or Dasya. So the Madhurya Rasa is called as Kama Rupa. Anybody would like to read this? Madhuri Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. The gopis extract Kamarupa Ragatmika Bhakti. The gopis' ecstatic love for Krishna is sometimes described by scholars as being like the lusty desire of the material world. But actually, this should not be taken as a literal fact. It is simply the way of trying to understand the transcendental situation. Nectar of Devotion, page number 123. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Next comes Sambandha Rupa Ragatmika Bhakti. This is the other than conjugal love, other than Madhurya Rasa, we have the Vatsalya, Sakhya, and Dasya Rasa. Spontaneous love of Krishna in the parental relationship is found both among those denizens of Dwaraka who belong to the dynasty of Vrishni and among the inhabitants of Vrindavana. So that is called Sambandha Rupa Ragatmika Bhakti. Radha Vallabhi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. The attraction of the gopis for Krishna and the affection of the members of the Yadu dynasty are both accepted as spontaneous or Raganuga. Again, he analyzes the affection of the Yadus. If it is on the platform of friendship, then it is spontaneous love. But if it is on the platform of regulative principle, it is not. Then it is not.
Thank you.
The page 120. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So how to discriminate between Raganuga and Vaidhi? If it is based on regulative principle, then it is not Raganuga. And if it is based on spontaneous love for Krishna, then it is the Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti. So Sadhana Bhakti is divided into two parts, Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti and Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti. This we have studied earlier itself. Now, how to come to this Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti? Shri Hari Priya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. There is a stage called Anartha Nivritti, which means the disappearance of all material contamination. When one is actually spontaneously attracted to the loving principles of the gopis, there will be found no trace of any mundane contamination in his character. Nectar of Devotion, page 126. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Here we can understand sometimes what happens. The person may be practicing Krishna consciousness for so many years, and there is a feeling that I might have come to Raganuga state. The mind itself will create, oh, now I must have come to Raganuga state, so I should practice Raganuga. Now that is not the right attitude. It is not the right mode. You have to check yourself. Are you free from all anartha? If that is the case, then you can practice Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti, or else you should practice Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. Now there are two forms. One is called Sadhaka Rupa, other one is called Siddha Rupa. Sadhaka Rupa means the person when he is practicing Krishna consciousness as a practitioner, either this Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti or Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti, that is called Sadhaka Rupa. And Siddha Rupa means the person when he is practicing Krishna consciousness in the spiritual world. Sometimes we see the people, they dress like gopis, they dance like gopis in public, and they behave like them, or they will do all kinds of activities. So how much correct it is? When Rupa Goswami was present here, he was practicing his devotional service, but he never showed this kind of activity. Because when a person is in the material world, it is called as Sadhaka Rupa, and this Rupa Goswami and all other 6 Goswamis, Shad Goswamis, they were giving an example for the devotees how one should practice Krishna consciousness. Even if a person is in the Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti, he should practice the devotional service in such a way that he is following all the rules and regulations properly. One should not imitate, or one should not make one should not show his Siddha Rupa during the practice. If you see Rupa Goswami, he is a Rupa Manjari in the spiritual world. And Sanatana Goswami, he is the Lavanga Manjari in the spiritual world. And Swarupa Damodara, he is the Lalita Sakhi. And Ramananda Raya, he is the Vishaka Sakhi. So these are the great devotees of the Lord. They are the very intimate followers. They are very servants of the Lord Krishna and Radha. They never showed any of these characters. How the Goswamis have lived. They were living in the forest of Vrindavana. Like they stay under one tree for only one day. They are not attached to anything. And they are strictly following all the rules and regulations. They worship the Tulsi, they follow the Ekadashi, and they chant the holy name, and they read the Shastra, they wrote the Shastras for us. Just like a strict devotee, how he should be practicing Krishna consciousness. In the same manner, they have practiced. They have never shown any of the raga characters for the public. It will only attract some cheap attraction, or some people may get attracted to it. But one should not practice in that way. It is not recommended. First of all, we don't know in what state we are in. Our anartha nivritti has not yet gone. And at that point, if we practice or if we show such kind of behavior, it is called Siddha Pranali. Siddha Pranali means we think that we are trying to understand what was my form in the spiritual world, and I'm trying to behave the same in the material world. The Siddha Pranali is not recommended. For example, say somebody has told another devotee that you are a peacock in the spiritual world. Okay, now you behave like peacock. You act like peacock. You make the sound like peacock. This is Siddha Pranali. I am doing some cheap imitation. That is called Sahajiya. I am bringing everything down. The people who know what is their status in the spiritual world only don't do that. Like Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, any of the 6 Goswamis, any of the followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they never did any of these things. Then why should we do it when we don't know anything about it? It is all just for getting some cheap publicity from the people. And it will not take us anywhere in the spiritual practice. And we should also not get carried by their behavior. We should understand what is their position. A pure devotee never tell that he is a pure devotee. He will also act like a sadhaka. They will give example for the people. Yadyad acharati shreshta tattate vetero janaha sayat pramanam kurute lokastadan vartate. A great devotee or a person who is leading the society, whatever activity he do, everyone will follow. So that is the understanding we must have. That is the sadhaka. One should not imitate. One should do only the following. That's called raga anuga. We all are called as rupa anuga. Rupa anuga. Anuga means we are following in the footsteps of Rupa Goswami. So we are following the person who is following the footsteps of Ragatmika Bhakta. He is Raganuga Bhakta. And that is done as a practice. And one should not imitate their behavior. Sureshwar Priya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji Dandavat Pranam. Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti. It is said by Sri Rupa Goswami, when one is actually liberated from material contamination, he can always remember an eternal devotee in Vrindavana in order to love Krishna in the same capacity. And developing such an aptitude, one will always live in Vrindavana, even within his mind. Nectar of Devotion, page number 126. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So this is again speaking about the anartha nivritti. When one is completely free from all the contamination, one can live in Vrindavana, either physically living in Vrindavana or within the mind, one is living in Vrindavana. Both are accepted, both are correct. Just like Prabhupada says, I never left Vrindavana. I was always in Vrindavana, because Prabhupada always remembering Vrindavana and his mind is always in Vrindavan. So that's how a person can live in Vrindavana always. Now, just going to Vrindavana and purchasing a flat there and doing all other regular activities, just like we early morning go to office and we earn and we just live our life. How we do it in any of the city. If you are living the same kind of life, if you, after going to Vrindavana, it doesn't make any difference. Because you are only physically in Vrindavana. You are not actually in Vrindavana. Because you are not taking advantage of the association of devotees or going to temple and practicing devotional service. But if you are in outside Vrindavana, even if you are any of the city, and you are practicing Krishna consciousness in the association of devotees, following all the regulative principles and chanting, reading Prabhupada books, then you are practically in Vrindavana. That is recommended. That is how one should follow. Sarita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. But when he realizes his actual position in relationship with the Lord, he can, along with the discharging of regulative service, think within himself of the Lord, under the guidance of a particular associate of the Lord, and develop his transcendental sentiments in following that associate. Nectar of Devotion, page 126. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So this is how the person will understand what is his position. So there is no need to hurry, or there is no need to become restless to know what is my position in spiritual world. It will be revealed. As the person grows in spiritual life, that form will be revealed to him, and it need not be told to everyone, or it need not be shown in the behavior. So the person knows what is my relationship with the Lord, and the person will have the feeling for the Lord, and he will worship the Lord in that status, or in that way he will do the worship. It will be like he will practice it, and for the external world, for other people, he will be like a sadhaka. He is strictly following all the rules and regulations of the devotional service. He will look like a Vaidhi sadhana bhakti only. Even if he is a pure devotee also, for ordinary people, they will look like a Vaidhi sadhana bhakta. Deepti Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. A devotee, Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti, a devotee who is actually advanced in Krishna consciousness, who is constantly engaged in devotional service, should not manifest himself, even though he has attained perfection. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. There is one more. Sadhaka Rupena and Siddha Rupena. Yeah. So this is the 2 points which we have discussed just now. So even if somebody is actually advanced in Krishna consciousness, constantly engaged in devotional service, but still he should not show the that kind of activities, should not manifest that nature externally, even though he has attained the perfection. Even after coming to the perfection of devotional service, even after coming to the Raganuga state or Bhava state or Prema state also, the person for the external world, he should be behaving like a sadhaka. That is called Sadhaka Rupa and Siddha Rupa. In the Siddha Rupa, we are serving the Lord in the spiritual world. And in the Sadhaka Rupa, we are doing our practice. Here, for us, it is the Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. But for the pure devotees, when they come here as a sadhaka, originally they are present even in the spiritual world. They are doing in their Siddha Rupa, they are serving the Lord simultaneously. And in the Sadhaka Rupa, they are guiding the people in this material world. The example is given just now. Just like when Rupa Goswami he came here, he is present in the spiritual world as Rupa Manjari. When Sanatana Goswami came here, he is present in the spiritual world as Lavanga Manjari, or the Subuddhi Damodar as Lalita Sakhi, Ramananda Raya as Vishaka Sakhi. So all these devotees, if you want more details, we have the Lalita Vishaka was Champakalata, that is another Sakhi. There are Ashta Sakhis. They are Shivananda Sena and Chitra, they are Govinda Ananda, Tunga Vidya, Vakreshwar Pandit, Induleka, Vasu Ramananda, Ranga Devi, Govindananda Ghosh, Sudevi, Vasudeva Ghosh. These are the Sakhis of Krishna. They are present as the associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When they were here, they are practicing the devotional service with all the rules and regulations. And when they are in the, simultaneously when they are in the spiritual world, they are in the Siddha Rupa. So that is Sadhaka Rupa and Siddha Rupa. Both are present simultaneously. And even in the Manjaris, all the 6 Goswamis, they are Manjaris. As Raghunath Das Goswami is Rati Manjari, and Raghunath Bhatta Goswami is Rasa Manjari, Guna Manjari is Gopal Bhatta Goswami, then Lokanath Goswami, Manjalali Manjari, Vilasa Manjari, Jiva Goswami, Kasturi Manjari, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, the author of Chaitanya Charitamrita. So all these Manjaris and Sakhi, the names are available in the Purana. That is, one is Bhavishya Purana and Skanda Purana. These 2 Puranas give the details of these Manjaris, and there are unlimited Manjaris. There are many Manjaris. They are given in different Purana, the names of these Manjaris. We can get the Sadhaka Rupa and Siddha Rupa, all these. So what we can understand, even having the Siddha Rupa, knowing the Siddha Rupa of the person, he is doing the sadhana. He is acting in the sadhaka form when he is present in the material world. So one should not artificially show or manifest the devotional activities one should always become an example for other people. Sarita Kapoor Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam to all. Raga Marga in ISKCON. First of all, he's trying to bring the devotee to the standard devotional service, Vidhi Marga. Then gradually when he becomes accustomed, then Raga Marga will be revealed. Everyone has got a particular relationship with Krishna in his original constitutional position. Hare Krishna.
Continue, Mataji.
And Raga Marga in ISKCON continued. That will be revealed gradually as you advance in devotional service in the prescribed rules and regulations as they are directed in the Shastras and by spiritual master. Just like the sun. Sun becomes visible when the sun rises automatically. You cannot force the sun to. That is not possible. Sun will rise, you just wait. Nectar of Devotion, Vrindavana, to October 20, 1972. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So when the sun rises, we can see the sun. We cannot force the sun to rise. So when we come to the state of Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti, we ourselves will understand, or the devotee will understand himself, and there is no need to show or manifest himself to the outside world for becoming the Raganuga Sadhaka. Raganuga Sadhaka Bhakti. In Srimad Bhagavatam, let us open. There is a shloka. Canto 7, Chapter 1, and text number 30. Seven 130. Kamat dveshat bhayat snehat yatha bhakteshware manaha aveshya tad agham hitva bhavastad gatim gata. Many persons have attained liberation simply by thinking of Krishna with great attention and giving up sinful activities. This great attention may be due to lusty desires, inimical feelings, fear, affection, or devotional service. I shall now explain how one receives Krishna's mercy simply by concentrating one's mind upon him. So this is Narada Muni is explaining here the different ways how a person gets attracted to Krishna. So what are the different ways? The Yudhishthira, Narada Muni is speaking to Yudhishthira Maharaj. Gopis by their lusty desires, Kamsa by his fear, Shishupala and other kings by envy, and the Yadus by their familial relationship with Krishna, and the Pandavas by the great affection for Krishna, and the Narada Muni, he is speaking about himself. The devotees by devotional service have obtained the mercy of Lord Krishna. So these are the different ways of attaining Krishna's devotion or mercy of Krishna. Now, who are the Ragatmika here, according to the present definition? Can we call Gopis as Ragatmika Bhakti? You can answer by raising your hand. Yes, Radha Vallavi Mataji.
Yes, we can call gopis.
Yes, Gopis can be called as Ragatmika Bhakti because they are doing the direct service to Krishna in the Vrindavana mood. Can you call Kamsa as Ragatmika Bhakti?
No.
No, because it is not favorable. Anukulyena Krishna Anushilanam. The first definition is not satisfied here. So Kamsa is not practicing Ragatmika Bhakti. Can you call Shishupala?
No, Prabhu.
Yeah, I'm okay. Many people are. Yeah, Sureshwar Priya Mataji.
No, Prabhuji, he is a demon.
Yes, he is envious of Krishna, so he also cannot be called as Ragatmika Bhakta. Because he has come to Krishna, he gets purification, and when he gets killed by Krishna, he will attain the Brahma Jyoti. He will not enter the spiritual world. Then Yadavas. Can you call Yadavas as in Ragatmika Bhakti?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes.
No, Prabhuji.
Because they are in relation with Lord Krishna. So there should be a relation. No. So relation is coming under Ragatmika.
But they never knew the Lord as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I mean, they never. They were not the pure devotees of the Lord.
worshipping.
That is just
Yeah.
because they were related to him.
Okay. So Yadus.
But Prabhuji, it is said that they are all demigods only, and they are like they had come to earth, right, along with Krishna. So
Okay.
they should be coming under Ragatmika.
Yeah, here there is one more point we should introduce. Are they aware of the Aishwarya of Krishna?
No.
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 I think they were thinking him
But-
as more like Paramatma
No.
form.
But
Yes.
Prabhuji, even Yashoda Maya, Nand Baba, for the Ragatmika Bhakti, you need to know that Lord is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then you cannot be natural in your affection, and all the other rasas like Vatsalya, Sakhya and Das, you will not do. If you will accept that, then you become a devotee like a normal other devotee.
Yes.
That's why the Yudhus are also Ragatmika Bhakt, because they were loving Krishna as grandfather or their father or as a husband. And that's the reason, Prabhuji.
No. Yadavas were aware of the Aishwarya of the Lord.
Yeah. Yes.
All of them were aware,
Yeah.
Prabhuji.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, in general, Yadus were aware of the Aishwarya of the Lord. Rukmini Devi aware of the Aishwarya of the Lord. So they cannot be under the definition of Rupa Goswami. They cannot be considered under Ragatmika Bhakti
Okay.
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 because it is from Aishwarya Bhava.
Okay. Yeah.
Then comes Pandavas.
Prabhuji, 1 second. I want to
Yes.
ask you one question. When we talk about relationship, even the sons of Lord Krishna, they were not knowing that in the beginning.
Hmm.
So what would be their state? They belong to the Yadu dynasty alone.
Yeah, if they don't know about it, is knowing or not knowing is not the point. If they are worshipping Lord Krishna only because he is the opulent, he is the greatest, if that is the mood, then it comes under Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. And if they are worshipping the Lord unconditionally, Ahaituki Apratihata, then it comes under Raganuga or Ragatmika Bhakti. If they are already perfect, Ragatmika Bhakti.
And which Yadu we can remember as an example means his wives,
They are
they
Aishwarya.
are not. Okay, they are in the Aishwarya Bhava, so they should not be considered.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, the wives of the Brahmanas, they were the
Brahmana.
Ragatmika.
Correct.
They were in the Ragatmika state.
Pardon, Mataji? Dipti Mataji?
Sorry, Prabhuji, the wives of the Brahmanas who offered the food for the Lord, they
Yeah.
were in the Ragatmika state.
Yes. Because they are not thinking of Krishna as the Aishwarya Bhava is not there. They don't know what is the position. Unconditional love for Krishna. That is Ragatmika.
So, Prabhuji, whosoever is having unconditional love for Vrindavan Krishna is Ragatmika, but Dwarka Krishna is not Ragatmika, right?
Yeah.
But Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, Arjuna and all, they were in Ragatmika state, right? Although they knew Krishna as...
Yeah. That is the next
Dwarka
question.
Krishna.
Pandavas. Pandavas, are they in Ragatmika?
Confusion, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes,
Yes.
yes, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Yes, Prabhuji.
But then they
Prabhuji.
knew him as a Lord also, but
No, they
not
are
always.
not. They are not Ragatmika Bhakta.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because they are also in Aishwarya Bhava.
But Arjuna is Vishaka Sakhi, right?
Now that mood again different. If you are again, you cannot just say like they are Pandavas, so they are not possible. You have to see the mood. If we are worshipping Krishna, understanding that Krishna is the great or just like the Vishwarupa is explained for the neophytes. Now I am surrendering to Krishna by seeing the Vishwarupa and surrendering to Krishna unconditionally. There is difference. So Pandavas also doesn't come under Ragatmika Bhakti. Then comes the general devotees or Narada Muni. Yes, Deepti Mataji.
Prabhuji, how about sorry, I forgot it. Yeah, I'll recollect it later, Prabhuji. I was just thinking about it, like Vidur and Mata Kunti.
No.
So how about Mata Kunti and Vidurji? Even they won't be in Ragatmika, no?
No.
How about Mata
Kunti?
Kunti?
Praise to Krishna, no? Ata Vishwatman Vishwamurte Sokeshume Sneha Pasham Imam Sindhi Viradam Pandushu Vrishnishu. She is worshipping Krishna as the supreme, the greatest. None of them, see, if you just see the compared to Vrindavan mood, the Yashoda Mata holding a small stick and running behind Krishna. This kind of mood you cannot find anywhere else.
Got it. Yes.
In Nand Maharaj, Varuna comes and tells him, or somebody, when Nanda Maharaj was instructed like that, see, you should understand Krishna as a supreme personality of Godhead, you should not chastise him like that. Then what Nanda Maharaj told, whatever it may be, he is my son, I have to guide him. Otherwise, he gets spoiled. So that is the mood of Vrindavana devotees, that is Ragatmika. Even Narada Muni.
No, Prabhuji.
No,
He also
no.
knew his
No.
fault.
Narada Muni
Even
knows. Yeah,
yeah.
He
he,
knew, no?
And Uddhava also no.
He used to
No,
always say
Prabhuji.
Narayana, right, Prabhuji? So he is
Yeah.
worshipping the Lord in Aishwarya.
yeah, that is the
Narayana.
mood of Narada Muni.
Yeah.
Worships Narayana. Yes, that is true.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah, so this is how we can understand about Ragatmika Bhakti.
Prabhuji, give us some simple example by which we can remember Ragatmika Bhaktas.
Pardon?
By some simple examples, say all these people we were thinking they all are Ragatmikas. Now you just refused everything with your convincing ability. But you just tell us now, by easily we can remember who is Ragatmika and who is the other one.
The
Whom
one
we can remember as Ragatmika.
Yeah, one main criteria is person is worshipping Krishna, knowing the opulence of Krishna, and the person who is knowing worshipping Krishna without knowing his opulence. That is the main difference.
Worshipping Krishna without knowing his opulence.
Yes.
Then he is Ragatmika.
Ragatmika.
After, when they know, just like Mahalakshmi, then that would be Aishwarya, isn't it?
Yes, that is Aishwarya Bhava.
They are not Ragatmika. Okay, thank you.
Hare Krishna. Okay, then. Okay, some more points are there to discuss. It is there in the book, you can refer. Now, Raganuga Bhakta, there are two parts. That is, okay, it is not there in the PPT. When a Raganuga Bhakta follows either Kamanuga or Sambandhanuga, it will be named accordingly. Just like the Kamarupa Ragatmika Bhakti and Sambandharupa Ragatmika Bhakti. These are the two categories we have seen in the Ragatmika devotees. Now, when a person follows a devotee who is in the Kamarupa Ragatmika Bhakti, he is practicing the Kamanuga sadhana bhakti. When a person is practicing Sambandha Rupa Ragatmika, he is following, then he is practicing Sambandhanuga sadhana bhakti. So it goes in the same parallel line. In simple words, if I say, if somebody is following the footsteps of gopis, then it is called Kamanuga sadhana bhakti. And if somebody is following in the footsteps of Yashoda Mata or the friends of Lord Krishna, then it is Sambandhanuga sadhana bhakti. And in the book, you can have some of the examples for this kind of worship. Okay, you can read that 2 chapters and understand where that point is. There was a carpenter in the Hastinapur. He was worshipping the form of Krishna, the deity of Krishna, as his own son. Then it is called Sambandhanuga Sadhana Bhakti. And one more example is there. There was a king called Prabhakara. He was worshipping Krishna himself as his son. Then that is also Sambandhanuga Sadhana Bhakti. And in Sambandhanuga Sadhana Bhakti, there is one more point we should remember, that we should not take the position of those devotees. Like, I should follow the footsteps of Nanda Maharaj or Yashoda Mata, but I should not take the position of Yashoda Mata. One should not desire that I want to become Yashoda Mata. Then that becomes again Mayavada. Just like Mayavadis want to become one with Krishna, or they also want to become Krishna. Similarly, if I desire that I want to become like Yashoda Mata, or I want to take that position, then it is not a right attitude. I should only assist in the service of Yashoda or Nanda or the devotees of the Lord in service to Krishna. That is the right attitude in Sambandhanuga Sadhana Bhakti. It is little technical. Okay. So we have come to the conclusion of today's chapter. So what we have studied, explained the terms of Ragatmika Bhakti, Raganuga Bhakti, and presented an overview of the process of Raganuga Bhakti, and described the appropriate attitude towards the practice of Raganuga Bhakti for ISKCON devotees. Those who like to read can raise their hand. Shri Priya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. The Raganuga Raga Bhakti is executed following the footprints of the devotees in Vrindavan. That is called Raga Bhakti, Krishna's personal associates. Not to become directly Krishna's personal associate, but following the footprints of Krishna's eternal associates, we can come to the stage of Raga Bhakti. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you, Mangal. So don't take the position of the associates of Krishna. One should follow in their footsteps. Again, we should understand what is the difference between Anukarana and Anusarana. Muralidhar Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. That is called Parabhakti. That Parabhakti is required. So this Krishna consciousness movement is gradually developing up to the stage of Raga Bhakti or Parabhakti. Then life is successful. Srimad Bhagavatam 3.26, 35 and 36, Bombay, January 12, 1976. Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. So when a person practices Krishna consciousness, when the person clears the state of Anartha Nivritti, he will come to the Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti. And even after coming to Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti, he will be externally following all the rules and regulations like a Vaidhi Bhakta. And internally, he is practicing the Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti. And under that, there are 2 categories, Madhurya Bhava and other Kamanuga and Sambandhanuga. So the person, which one to choose, that will be revealed to him as the person comes out of Anartha. This Anartha Nivritti state is the most difficult. It takes a lot of time to come out of it. After that, the Nishta, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhava, Prema, all these states develop. But at our state, we are in the Anartha Nivritti state. So we are still in the Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. So with this, we have come to the conclusion of today's session. Who is doing Kirtan?
Prabhuji, myself.
Pardon?
Myself, Prabhuji.
Yeah, please, Mataji.
Is my screen visible, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji. Your audio is little down.
Okay, one moment.
Am I audible now?
Yes, yes.
गाये गौरमधुर स्वरे गाये गौरमधुर स्वरे गाये गौरमधुर स्वरे गाये गौरमधुर स्वरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे गृहीता को वनिता को सदा हरि बोले दाको सुख दुःखी बोले नाको वदने हरि नाम करो रे गाये गौर मधुर स्वरे गाये गौर मधुर स्वरे माया जाले बद्ध हुए आँचो मीचे काँचो लिए एक होना चेतना पे राधा माधव नाम बोलो रे माया जाले बद्ध हुए आँचो मीचे काँचो लिए एक होना चेतन पे राधा माधव नाम बोलो रे गाये गौर मधुर स्वरे गाये गौर मधुर स्वरे गाये गौर मधुर स्वरे गाये गौर मधुर स्वरे जीवन हुले शेष ना भजिले ऋषिकेश भक्ति विनोद उपदेश एक बार नाम रस मधुरे गाये गौर मधुर स्वरे गाये गौर मधुर स्वरे गाये गौर मधुर स्वरे गाये गौर मधुर स्वरे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Translation. Lord Gaurasundara sings in a very sweet voice, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Whether you are a householder or a sannyasi, constantly chant Hari Hari. Do not forget this. Chanting whether you are in a happy condition or in a distressful one, just fill your lips with the Harinam. You are bound up in the network of Maya and are forced to toil fruitlessly. Now you have obtained full consciousness in the human form of life. So chant the names of Radha Madhava. Your lives may end at any moment, and you have not served the Lord of the senses, Rishikesha. Take this advice of Bhaktivinoda Thakura. Just once relish the nectar of the holy name. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for this.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So as we have already completed the session, if anybody has any questions, they can raise their hands. Sureshwar Priya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Just I want to have a confirmation from you. You have already talked several times, but again, whatever I have written, I'm just having some doubts now. It is regarding Sadhaka Rupa and Siddha Rupa. Siddha Rupa is serving the Lord in the spiritual world.
Yes.
Then Sadhaka Rupa is serving the Lord in the material world.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Deepti Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for an enlightening session today. This is very new for us. So all our concepts, it got refreshed, So Prabhuji, there is this small paragraph from the book. This conjugal love is divided into two classifications. This is chapter 16.
Okay.
Prabhuji, it talks about two states, two different categories, basically. Conjugal love, that in case if a person, one is indirect and the other one is direct. Like, for example, if, as you mentioned, that if we followed in the footsteps of the gopis, then it is ragatmika.
Yeah.
So here it is mentioned, Prabhuji, like we also know that there were many sages in Dandakaranya one, and they wanted to be associated with the Lord. And so the Lord said, okay, in this birth, I am like a Maryada, I'm in Maryada Purush, I'm the Maryada Purushottam form. So later, when I come in the form of the gopis, then only it is possible for me to associate with you. So, Prabhuji, how is it going to be categorized? Like they had a desire to be with the Lord. So they knew everything. They knew the Aishwarya and everything, but they were so mesmerized by the Lord's beauty that they wanted to associate with him. So ultimately, it is the Ragatmika, because it says that if a person wishes to be associated with the Lord, then they might go in Dwarka as the queen, as one of the queens. So Prabhuji, this is a bit confusing. Could you please explain this paragraph?
Thank you for asking this question. This I have not elaborated much because it is not spoken everywhere. This even Prabhupada also, every class he will not explain all these things because we are still under elementary school. So
yes,
what is there in the PhD level, there is no need to much explanation. But yes, this is how again in the Kamarupa also there are two categories. That is directly serving Krishna and assisting the people who are serving Krishna. That is again two categories in the Kamarupa. And
okay,
those who are serving in the serving the Lord Shri Krishna, who are coming from these rishis. Among gopis, there are so many types of gopis. Some are directly from the Goloka, and some are sadhakas, those who got opportunity to serve the Lord. So when they are serving Krishna, they are not aware of the Aishwarya of the Lord. Because Yashodamata also had an opportunity to see the entire world, the universe in Krishna's mouth. But still, her love for Krishna is Ragatmika. Because she is not loving Krishna because he showed me the universal form.
right.
That is not the motive for her love for Krishna. When Varuna was kidnapped by when Varuna kidnapped Nanda Maharaj and he took to the Varuna Loka, he saw Krishna being worshipped there, and he saw all the opulence of Krishna. But still, Nanda Maharaj remained him as he is. His mood for Krishna did not change. Similarly, the gopis, when they are chastising Krishna, when they were worshipping the way of Vrindavana way of worship to Krishna, it is not because Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Even these Dandakaranya forest rishis, the Yoga Maya will cover them.
Okay.
So that the motive for worshipping Krishna, if it is not his Aishwarya, then it is Ragatmika Bhakti. If it is Aishwarya Bhava, then it is sadhana or the Vaidhi sadhana Bhakti or the other kind of Aishwarya Bhava way of Bhakti. It is not coming under Ragatmika Bhakti.
Okay, Prabhuji. Yeah, sure. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.
All of you, please read these two chapters. You will get in more details about this. There are examples to very clearly identify what is exactly called as Ragatmika and what is Raganuga Bhakti. Radha Vallabhi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. I just wanted to know the references where we can get you when you talked about Jiva Goswami's Vilasa Mandali.
That is, there is a book, Mataji. It is called Gaura Gunodesha Deepika and Radha Krishna Gunodesha Deepika. In that book, it is given by I think Bhanu Maharaj has written books on that. It is there in Prabhupada not directly written these books, but in the Goswamis have revealed these things and the purports, the explanations in some places, Prabhupada also mentioned in the Gauna Gunodesha Deepika, it is stated that the Rupa Goswami is a Manjari, as Rupa Manjari in the spiritual world. So Prabhupada refers to that. That original book is not a part of BBT.
No, because you gave reference. I thought you have a PPT or some Excel where you have.
No, Gaura Gunodesha Deepika book is there. It is written by Bhanu Maharaj has made some summary of study of this book. You can refer to that also. There you will get the clear explanation.
Okay.
You will get every devotee, whatever sadhaka rupa they have here, what is their original form there, that is explained. Even Prabhupada, he has not revealed what is his Siddha Rupa in the spiritual world, but definitely he has sadhaka rupa here and Siddha Rupa in the spiritual world.
Thank you.
Hare
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Rakshita Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, you mentioned one term, no, for people who pretend they get to know their position in the spiritual world and they try to imitate the same thing in the material world. What is that term, Prabhuji?
Siddha Pranali.
Pranali. Okay.
Yeah, Siddha Pranali.
Okay. And one more thing, Prabhuji. You said, like Rupa Goswami, they all know their real position, but nobody imitated here. Nobody showed even a tinge of those characteristics here. But then in Chaitanya Charitamrita, this Jagadananda, he is like Satyabhama, right? So he actually brought in those little characteristics. So what does that mean, Prabhuji?
Yeah, it is not Sahajiya. She was getting upset with the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when he was not accepting the service what Jagadananda was doing. He wants to serve him. That the example, famous example, Jagadananda brought some oil for serving Lord Chaitanya and he rejected it. And Jagadananda threw it. And he was very angry with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu pacifies him by asking him to cook. Like that first time happens, but there is no Sahajiya anywhere. Sahajiya means what? The devotees wearing sari and dancing in public or standing when all are doing kirtan themselves, as one person will get up and they do all this act. That is all Sahajiya. It is cheap imitation. But this is the natural mood of a devotee, how they are.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anybody else has any questions? Okay. So this subject matter is little grave. Actually, I am also not qualified to speak everything about it. I know little bit. Whatever I read here, I have presented in front of you. For more details, you can read Prabhupada's original book. Yeah, Radha Vallabhi Mataji.
Prabhuji, in our Bhakti Rich class, we were having a discussion on this question. When Lord Chaitanya has met Rupa Goswami, is it Ramkeli, the first time met, or is it in Allahabad? So which one is the correct answer?
Yeah, first they met Ramkeli. Today, Atul Krishna Prabhu also explained, no? Ramkeli photos he has shown where they met. Ramkeli, they met first. At that time, they were in the form of that Dabir Kas and Sakar Malik.
Yeah.
But later on, they got instruction in the Shashwamedha Ghat and other places.
So the
Ramkeli is the answer.
Ramkeli. Okay.
First time.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Okay, if there are no more questions, then we will stop for today. Yeah, Muralidhar Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Just one thought. You said it's very grave. I couldn't get that word so easily.
Gray means gravity.
Gray or grave?
We say, I took the itself gravity. We say, no, the person who is very grave, one who is, we cannot understand what his intention. He is just always remains calm and cool. You cannot understand what will be the reply. You go to somebody and you keep some request. For many people, we can predict what may happen. He will reject or he will accept. But for a person who is very grave, who has a very lot of gravity, you cannot predict what his decision is.
Thank you. Thank you.
Prabhupada was not laughing or smiling everyone, but he was very serious face. He is always thinking about Krishna. That is the mood of devotee. So we cannot understand the subject matter of this topic so easily. It is beyond our imagination. I cannot just take a point here. Okay, Krishna has told like this, then must be this is like this, and I can do some extrapolation and come to some conclusion. That is not possible. That is what I meant.
Got it. Got it.
I cannot to make any concoction. I cannot just take it for granted, any of the opinions. So that's why I told this subject is having very much gravity. It is beyond my capacity to understand everything. I can only just repeat what points are told in this book.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Okay, I thank all the devotees for coming to today's session and actively participating in the activities. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur ki jai.